everyone. I hope you've been having some great coloring time the last few weeks. It's the end of the month, so it's time to jump right into my finished pages for February. The first one is this fun little heart from Ellie Marks art. I've been eyeing her work on Etsy for a little while, but haven't colored anything from her before. But I knew when I saw this one, I think she came out with this bundle in January, maybe very, very early February, but she'd been teasing these. And I knew when I saw this one exactly how I would need to do it, and it turned out pretty much like I had in my head. It was a lot of fun to swap the colors and do the flowers and leaves like metal, and the gizmos and gears like I would normally color flowers, and I think it worked. I don't know if these all 100% look like metal, but the colors are right, and enough of them I think are right that it works. My favorite one is probably this one right here. I really like that interplay. I don't want to get too close or you'll see all the flaws, but I just like the shadows, the way the darks and the lights seem to fall in just the right place on that one. So that was my favorite part of this whole page. But these are some of my favorite colors for flowers, and that was just a lot of fun to do it like that. This next, oh, and those were all, those were colored in Polychromos and Prismacolor pencils. Yeah. Okay, this one, this double page spread is from Ivy and the Inky Butterfly. And it's all done completely in Prismacolor pencils, nothing else. And I think it turned out fine. It was an experiment to practice with the kind of the model-y, splotchy, well, no, didn't want splotchy, the kind of varied colors, and I'm discovering that either I need to stop doing them or I need to work even harder to try to figure it out, because it just I don't know if I just didn't pick the right pencils, but it just looks splotchy, and that's not what I pictured in my head. I didn't blend them enough, but by the time I got to the point of having color on there, I had enough and I was ready to be done. So you'll see the same kind of thing happens in a couple of the other pages, or at least one this month. And so I don't know. Like I said, I will either keep going or I'll give up and just do my normal, comfortable gradients in different directions, but kind of that are smoother blends. But I don't know. I feel like I need to figure this out. Because it bugs me. You'll notice Ivy's skin and flower and house mouse are not done. That's because it's a storybook. I want them to be consistent throughout the whole book, and I don't know how I want to do them yet. So when I do them, I'll consider them, as one page, not one page, but I'll do them all at the same time and show them to you all in the same page, in the same recap, I mean. But yeah, it's turned out fine. One of my standard combinations is like a deep red and teal. I've got those in a lot of different places, so that's what I wasn't exactly sure what I was going to do with this page, but I did that for those, and I think it turned out fine. The only description in the story talks about a rusty cage, a rusty metal cage, so that was fun trying to figure out how to make that look rusty, and I think it works. So I did a lot of the other metal rusty then too, except for those, because the character who lives here likes to collect shiny things too, so I'd like to think that these are all little lanterns that she stole. I don't know, but that's how I did that. And this is a work in progress from early days. We're not going to look at that yet. That's when I first started, so I'm probably going to have to touch up some of that before I finish that page. Okay, so the next two are in Europa, that Mein Reise durch Europa by Rita Berman. This is my traveling book, and if you probably remember, if you've seen one of my videos before, that I have a limited palette of 24 pencils for this book, so this page was no different. They're all Polychromos pencils. And I think it's fine. I think it works. I probably would normally, if I had an unlimited palette, would have done this a little differently, but since I don't, I had to stick with it. So I just pulled the colors from this page that was already done. And I feel like, I wonder if I put this at the end of January and put it on the beginning of this list by mistake, because what I feel like is, I was about to say something, it's like, I've already said this before, but I'm pretending that this was the kitchen that made the things, and then this was the dining room that served the things. But I feel like I've said that in a video before, and so now I'm going to have to go back and see if I made a mistake by putting this on my February list, because evidently I either have totally forgotten or I'm just having a crazy deja vu moment. So I don't know. I don't know what that's about, but oh well. I think it works just fine. All the colors work fine, and yeah, I only have a couple more, well, maybe 20 more to go in this book before I'm done. And this page is one of the other ones I did this month in this book, and it was fine. I was intimidated by this page for quite a while, but I'm getting down to, like I said, not too many pages left, so I'm going to have to start facing down all those pages that were intimidating to me. So, yeah, again, same 24, well, a total of 24 pencils for the book. I didn't use them all on this page. I pulled some of the colors from this page, and this was a color along that I had done last year, maybe 2 years ago. I don't even remember. But yeah, simple, but it works. And this little bird looks happy to be hanging out in the campground, and those roasted marshmallows look really good. I could use some of those right now. Okay, so there's that one. Then the next one is in one of my newest, I think what will be one of my favorite books of all my collection, The Seasonal Wreaths of Plants and Friends by Makiko Inatome. They're just adorable, and I love them to death. So this is the page that I did, and this was a buddy color with Coloring Bumblebee. So I will move this to side, and I'll put a picture of hers right here. Being Vanna White, and if you're too young, you don't know who Vanna White is, so never mind. But yeah, these were Prismacolors, all just Prismacolors, and I pulled the colors. This is another page I was going to tell you that I mentioned earlier, was the kind of that mottled background that I tried, and it's even more pronounced on the camera than it is in person. But I think I needed a dark background to set off the flowers, and then I just tried to go too light, and so I think it just ended up kind of looking too blobs. But that's not the page we're talking about right now. We're talking about this page, and yeah, I think it's adorable. I think it turned out pretty much just like I pictured it, and I really like this page. I really like this book, so I really feel like I can't go wrong here. So that was a lot of fun in that one. Okay, so then the next thing, it doesn't look like a page, but it is from a page. It's from several pages. These are more from Ellie Marks art. They're the same as the heart that I showed at the beginning of the video. They were part of the same bundle. I had a book club meeting that I hosted at my house on Saturdays last weekend. So I made these into bookmarks. They weren't originally, but I just arranged them on a page and colored them and then cut them out and laminated them. And these are the ones that are left over from the book club. So these were not the ones that were taken. So if you want to look on my Instagram account, you can see the picture of all of these before the book club, before I laminated them, so you didn't have a glow on there. But yeah, those were a lot of fun. These were all Prismacolors as well. I think this one right here is my favorite one. It's very simple, and it's not my normal favorite colors, but the pencils just blended really well on that one, and I think I might just keep that one and not give it out at the next book club thing. But yeah, that was a ton of fun to do. So I'll need to make some more for the next book club at the end of March, because we're gonna have more than 6 people. So that was what I was considering my 6th page for the month. And then the last 2 are in Rooms of Wonder by Johanna Basford. And one of them is, I guess we're calling this the weather room. And I knew when I saw this page that when it came time to do all the rainbows, I wasn't going to want to do like a traditional rainbow palette. So I looked around on Pinterest and found some inspiration images, and I chose, I'll put a little picture up here of the inspiration. I think I got relatively close with these, and so those were a combination of Castle pencils and Luminance pencils in order to get to the closest colors to the palette. So they're not 100%, some of them, but And I think actually I had to add one because I think there's only 6, and I think I can't remember. I either added this one or this one. I can't remember. Maybe this one. Needed a little more purpley, as this is kind of the red version. But I think it works fine. It was very, I just went simple. Like this whole background, there's no shading. Well, there's a little bit of shading right here, you can see. But for the most part, it's just solid coloring. I didn't go fancy. I just wanted to get it down there and get it done. But I like those colors. I think they work. And I think I started using the Castle pencils when I went to do the wood of the cabinet. There was a combination of, I think I started using the luminance pencils, and so a couple of the colors were just, it wasn't grit. It's a little bit bigger than grit, but I'd find a spot every once in a while that like just didn't want to put any color down. So I struggled a little bit getting this wood colored. I kept having to sharpen it down and get better, and then I'd come across another one. But not all of the luminance pencils were like that, just that one. So just a tip for you. If you struggle with a pencil, sometimes you might try other colors in that same brand, because I definitely think that the pigments have something to do with it. I don't know how all of that works, but I find that often in my brands of pencils where I'll struggle with a certain color on a paper, but the other ones are fine, and that definitely happened here. But overall, I just carried these colors most over. Oh, sorry, there's car noise all of a sudden. I just repeated these colors and the sky colors and pretty much everything. I don't think there's anything else on here that's not those. Yeah, and just a little bit of sparkle here and there. I tried to use some white Posca on the snowflake, and it blended in too much, so I had to put a little bit of sparkle, and I put a little tiny bit of sparkle on the stars and on the spines of some of the books. Or maybe all of the books. Yep, all of the books have a little bit, but I don't know if you can really tell. I didn't use a lot, but so there was that page. I'm happy with the way that turned out. And then the very last one, for the very last time, is my mushroom page. It's done. Need some more sound effect music for that. Basically, if you've been watching any of my finished pages videos since last summer, when I started them, this has been a work in progress, but I've been showing it every month because it was as complete as it could get. The point of this was to color one mushroom each day that I colored. I did miss some, so it took me probably a month or two longer than it would have, because what would happen is I'd kept this out on the side table on the couch, near the couch where I color. But then if we had company or had to clean up usually because we have company, I put it away and then I'd forget to pull it back out, or I'd just get out of rhythm. But for the most part, I have colored almost every day. I started it October 28th, and I would color back and forth, and each month I would show you the where I was at, and we're finally all done. It's all done. So it was just a lot of fun. On the one hand, to see my finished palette for the year, lots of repeat colors, and I can definitely see some patterns. On the other hand, it was kind of a bear having it out on the side table for a whole year, a year and 4 months. So I doubt I will do something like that again. But I really like this page. I think it turned out very fun, and I think it was way better for my mental health than trying to color all of the mushrooms exactly the same, because that would be really monotonous. But yeah, I'm happy with the way that turned out. And with that, that is all of my finished pages for the month of February 2024. Thanks for joining me, and I will see you soon. Thanks, and have a great day.